The top story that we are tracking at this hour, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer called on Israel to hold new elections, saying he believes Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has lost his way and is an obstacle to peace in the region amid a growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Schumer, the first Jewish majority leader in the Senate and the highest-ranking Jewish official in the U.S., strongly criticized Netanyahu in a 40-minute speech on the Senate floor.
If Prime Minister Netanyahu's current coalition remains in power after the war begins to wind down and continues to pursue dangerous and inflammatory policies that test existing U.S. standards for assistance, then the United States will have no choice but to play a more active role in shaping Israeli policy by using our leverage to change the present course.
The State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said that Schumer's call for new elections in Israel are his comments and not those of the administration of President Joe Biden.
And so I think there is a suspicion out there that Senator Schumer was putting out publicly what had been being said privately.
No, that is not the case. These are statements made by Senator Schumer, not by the Biden administration.
Okay. So there's no frustration in the administration with Prime Minister Netanyahu and his government?
Look, there are a number of things that we want to see Israel do differently. We've made that quite clear. I've said it from this podium, as you know, a number of times, and we've made that quite clear in direct conversations with the Prime Minister.
Meanwhile, thousands in Israel took to the streets demanding an immediate release of hostages from Gaza. Protesters calling for the release of hostages marched from a Tel Aviv square carrying enlarged images of women taken hostage by Hamas on October 7th, briefly blocking the highway at one point. Now in Gaza, the health ministry said that at least 29 Palestinians were killed while awaiting aid in two separate Israeli attacks. In the first incident, Palestinian health officials in the Hamas-ruled Strip said 8 people were killed in an airstrike on an aid distribution center in Al-Nusayrat camp in the central Gaza Strip. Later, at least 21 people were killed and more than 150 were wounded by Israeli gunfire at a crowd awaiting aid trucks at a northern Gaza roundabout. According to Gaza health authorities, Israel's air, sea and ground assault on Gaza has killed more than 31,000 people and wounded over 71,500 so far. Efforts to reach a ceasefire between Israel and the Islamist militant Hamas have so far failed. While Israel said it sought a deal that would secure the release of hostages in Gaza in exchange for the release of Palestinians held by Israel, Hamas insists an agreement should end the war. Now, Hamas called for an escalation of protests and attacks against Israel in Gaza, the West Bank and Jerusalem. On the other hand, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas has appointed his longtime economic advisor, Mohammed Mustafa, to be the next prime minister. Meanwhile, a second ship with food aid to Gaza was being loaded in Cyprus as the first ship in a pilot trial of maritime deliveries neared the besieged Palestinian enclave. Food NGO World Central Kitchen said it was loading a vessel at Larnaca port with 300 tons of food aid. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.